Hello everyone, this is Lying Figure, and this is episode 8, the final episode of the Solar Play. Now, there's been a travesty, which is, I've been awake all night, once again, and around 8 a.m. I realized that, Alessa, what are you doing? You can't sleep tonight. You can never sleep at night. And so I got up, and I went to my computer desk, and I sat down and I took 9 pages of notes. 9 pages of notes for this episode, because this is my final episode, and I did them all in a row. It took me about 2.5 hours, so I handwrite all of them. And anyway, so it was about 10:30, and I decided, you know what? Let's get it all out of the way. Let's just let's mow this baby down. Let's record it right now. So, I began recording, and I recorded for an hour and a half, and this is the final part, so it's, the longest episode, and I recorded for an hour and a half. I explained every single detail, and it was an excellent recording. No audio bugs, not one. Just no issues at all. And I quit, and it was then about noon, which is, it's about 12:10 now. And I looked at the video, and sure enough, you could hear me speaking, but the video did not exist. It was completely black. And despite what my OBS studio told me, and I actually set up my window so that I can tell that it is recording, for some reason it did not record video, even though I'm looking at it and I can tell, and basically something happened between in some process that made it completely go black. So, completely depressed and without hope, I stood up and I walked around my house for a while, despairing for the lost time, as I had a whole day planned out around pumping this out, get it out, and of course I was fucked over by technology. So this is going to be the no funny business episode, because I'm recording this directly after I just recorded it. And this is going to be the no funny business, no funny games. This is going to be the good final episode. And it's going to be no funny business, no jokes whatsoever, because I'm so angry. No, I'm just kidding. But I am pretty ass mad. Very ass mad, actually. But anyways, let me save it. We're in nowhere. This is a compilation of all the areas in the game. School, hospital, and so on. Right now we're in the examination room, I believe. But before I go anywhere, and this part isn't going to be long, because it's the final episode. Anyways, I took a few notes to make sure I pack everything into the Solar Play of things that I may have missed. So let me start off by saying that there's a building in the resort area called the Mech Burger, and it has big golden arches. It's obviously McDonald's. I'll show you a picture. Also, on a New Game Plus playthrough, you can find a chainsaw at this store called Cut Right Chainsaws, which is modeled and named directly after the chainsaw store seen in Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2. And next, there are apparently Pet Cemetery and Carrie posters all over the town. I actually started a game over and I looked around, but I couldn't find any, but I'm sure they're there. For those who don't know, Pet Cemetery and Carrie are Stephen King novels, pretty famous ones too. He's written a million novels, but most people know about those. And on all the newspaper textures, not the memo textures of the article we read earlier, but all the newspaper textures, if you get close enough, it says Bill Skins Fifth, which is of course reference to the novel and the movie Silence of the Lambs. Very good movie and good book. And There is a theater called Metropole, which is, excuse me, named directly after and has even the same font on the sign as the Metropole Theater in Dario Argento's horror movie called Demons. And if you remember, that's the director whose wife, Daria Argento, inspired the name of Dahlia Gillespie. And also, across from Green Lion Antiques, there's a shop called Mushnick's Florist, which is, it has a little sign in the window that advertises Audrey 2 or Audrey Jr. as a new plant. And of course, those who have seen Little Shop of Horrors know that's the main antagonist is Audrey 2 or Audrey Jr., however you want to say it. But in the game files, according to, I looked around but I couldn't find anything. In the game files, you can actually find there's an anti-drug poster, the exact same anti-drug poster that you see in the movie Jacob's Ladder. But I managed to find the poster in Jacob's Ladder, but I couldn't find the texture in the game files. Of course, it's harder to dig when it's just a PS1 ISO, but nonetheless, that is the poster from the movie. And also, I mentioned in episode 3 that I missed in the bathroom where you find the shotgun this little text thing on the wall that says Leonard Rhine, the monster lurks. And it turns out that if you read that, you actually end up being able to see something else in the library, which is a little book that's a little memo. And it kind of describes the monsters, like the source of where they come from, or at least hints at it. And I'll read it to you now. It's called Manifestations of Delusions. And it says, poltergeists are among these. Negative emotions like fear, worry, or stress manifest into external energy with physical effects. Nightmares, in some cases, been shown, or have in some cases been shown to trigger them. However, one such phenomenon doesn't appear to happen to just anyone. Although it's not clear why, adolescents, especially girls, are prone to such occurrences. Of course, hinting strongly that all the monsters and all the things we're seeing are, of course, from Alessa's mind and her nightmares. But anyways, let's play the game. So, all these doors are locked, except for that one. So we're gonna head straight out this door. Cool camera angle.
I'm being summoned. What happened in this town? What could be making things like this? I have a feeling if I take the elevator down, I'll find it. Cheryl.
Okay, so let's do this. Let's play the game. This room, there is a key in the faucet here. There's a key in the faucet, but I can't get it out no matter how much I pull. So let's go ahead and go somewhere else. Like here. Which is a little room. The bird cage is locked, and of course the bird sound is still there. Despite there being no bird there. Just to creep you out. And there's a little key hanging inside there. But all these doors are uh-oh. That's pretty creepy, isn't it? Little girl running in here. So it's locked. The word Phalag is carved into the door. So this, of course, is the antique shop, if you remember. Let's grab the shotgun ammo. And, medkit. If you hear some banging, it's because, my father's actually working out. So sorry about that. I don't think you should be able to hear it that much. But actually this clock here, let's look at it. Old clock. There is a square hole in the center of the clock. The hands of the clock. It's a key. I can't get to it because of the glass cover though. So there's a big square depression there that we need to find something to fill. Or find something to fill with. Uh-oh, nurses. And I don't think I'm gonna kill this one. Uh-oh. I'm gonna get around her. Nice moves, Harry. Okay. It's locked. The word Ophiel is carved into the door. And this one we can open. Let's check the other doors real quick first. Just this one. It's locked. The word Haggith is carved onto the door. So, nowhere to go but down. And very cool, we're in the classroom. And if you remember, I showed a picture earlier in an earlier part, but you can actually see this exact classroom in Silent Hill 3, along with this desk in the center. It says go home, thief, drop dead, all these things. You can see this exact thing in Silent Hill 3. Pretty cool. But let's keep going. And I wonder whose desk that is. It's Alessa's, of course. Pliers on this gurney and a screwdriver. And if you remember, there's a key stuck on the faucet, but we can't get them out with our bare hands. Thankfully now we have pliers to pry them away. Now I think actually having just played this might be helpful. Actually, because the part won't be an hour and a half long. I know somebody told me that he'd rather not see the parts so long, but when it's the end of the playthrough, I feel like it's best to group it all together, and it's one big section of the game, you know. So I don't want to have an awkward cut. Key of Ophiel, cool. So let's use this key on the Ophiel door, which I believe is the one up there. Let's see if you can dodge this. Nice. Use the key of Ophiel. And these keys, all the keys we're going to find in this section, are actually named after Olympian spirits, which are, they're like alchemy figure, or not alchemy, occult figures. They're kind of important in most Renaissance magic texts and everything. They're all linked to different planets and astronomy and different things. So there's Haggith and Ophiel and all those things. Now this puzzle, let's take a look here. So this is called the Zodiac puzzle. And if you look, this crab has 10 legs. And that's why it's linked to 10. Now this puzzle confuses a lot of people because you'd assume maybe you have to know something about Zodiac or calendar dates or astronomy or astrology or not astronomy, astrology. But really you just have to look at the pictures and see how many appendages or limbs the animal has, and the number below it corresponds with that. So dolphin 0, this ram has 4, the legs. So what we have to do is walk over here and just count the limbs. So this is the Sagittarius, and he's going to have 6 because he has 2 arms and 4 legs. And walk over to this one. The Taurus, I believe, has 4, just has the legs and everything. And then we're going to check this one, the Gemini, and it's got 2 arms, 2 legs, so that's 8, because there's 2 of them. And we put it in, and this giant stone block falls out. Now this is called the Stone of Time, and we're going to pick that up. Yep, there it is. And if you remember, that clock has a big square depression. That stone is going to go right in that depression. Uh-oh. That nurse thought she should get the moves on me. I don't think so. No woman gets the drop on Harry Mason. Now, I'm just going to check all these doors, but I'm sure they're locked. Yep. So let's look at this here. Names engraved on a lithograph. Or maybe it's lithograph. I can't remember how it's pronounced. The Grim Reaper's list. Yes, the head count is set. Young and old lined up in order of age. That's the important one there. Then the pathway opens, awaiting them the frenzied uproar, the feast of death. So this, of course, is a plate you cannot find earlier in the game, in the hospital. But if you remember, we did find this plate earlier, which is the Grim Reaper's list. There's a slate. You can see it says the Grim Reaper's list. There's different ages and different names. And so the hint was that we need to put them in order of age, so from youngest to oldest. And you can see there's a keypad here with the whole outfit. And what are we supposed to do about that? Well, you're supposed to put them in order of age here. Right, so you look at the first letter of their name, which is, so first 18, Albert Lord, so we take an A, and then Lydia Findlay, 35, so that's second. Edward C. Briggs, third, because he's 38. Roberta T. Morgan, fourth. Trevor F. White, fifth. So then we take the first letters of their names, and we get A-L-E-R-T, alert. So we're going to walk over here, and let's put in alert on this door. Now don't worry, this puzzle really confused me when I did it before. I actually ended up trying to type in their whole names, which didn't work and took quite a comical amount of time. So this is a little storage room, nothing in here. But there's a morgue here, and we can find this on the wall. The Star of David? Nope, the Amulet of Solomon. Of course named after the biblical king and prophet, Solomon. And shaped like the Star of David, which I think is pretty neat. Anyways, just gotta make sure I'm not missing anything in my notes. Nope, we're good to go. I've got this all memorized, I guess, since I ran through it already.
Harry,
Lisa, what's the matter with you?
I get it now. Why I'm still alive even though everyone else is dead. I'm not the only one who's still walking around. I'm the same as them. I just hadn't noticed it before.
Lisa.
Stay by me, Harry. Please. I'm so scared. Help me. Save me from them. Please. Harry?
Lisa?
So that is, of course, why quite a few people, including even Masahiro Ito, believes that Lisa is in fact dead of a drug overdose before the story, because people think that since she's so perfect and, angelic looking kinda, compared to the rest of the monsters that are projections of Alessa's psyche, it's because she was so caring and helpful to Alessa. However, besides this little instance here, there's not a ton of reason to believe that, she's a projection. But, it's hard to say. I think she is. I think it fits in the fact that, she goes all bloody there. It just makes sense, and Masahiro Ito believes it, so I believe it. Really heartbreaking little cutscene too. But let's go back in here, because Lisa will be gone. But she left us a little journal on the ground. There's a diary on the floor. Ask doctor to let me quit being in charge of that patient. It's too weird. Still alive, but with wounds that won't heal. Told the doctor I quit. Won't work at that hospital anymore. The room is filled with insects. Even with doors and windows shut, they get in to spite me. That's of course the PTV hallucinations. To the hospital. Feeling bad, need to throw up, but nothing comes out, vomiting only bile. Blood and pus flow from the bathroom faucet. That's the hallucinations. I try to stop it, but it won't turn off. Need drug. PTV, help me. So of course, Coffin won't let her quit because he got her hooked on PTV. Pretty sad stuff. But yeah, I just feel bad for Lisa. She has it rough. But anyways. Whoa. Get off me. Oh, grabbing at me. So, I did get the Stone of Time. So we're actually gonna head back to this room and use it. And shove it in the clock here. And you'll notice it dings 5 times because the solution to the clock tower puzzle in Midwich Elementary School was 5 o'clock. Which is why it does that. And we can get the key that was acting as a hand, the Key of Haggith. Cool stuff. Another Olympian Spirit key. Let's save our game real quick, just to be safe. And I forgot to note it earlier, but you'll see this is the antique shop. There's scratches and everything, but there's no hole. It's just a wall. But anyways, in the other games you can actually have a map because the protagonist will draw in a map of nowhere as you go, which is I think really cool. But you know, it's such a good idea, and I don't know. The fact it's not on this one is a little bit frustrating at times if you don't have this place memorized, but you get used to it. But let me just make sure I'm not missing anything. I don't think so. So let's use the Key of Haggith. Let's sprint past these 2 whores and use the Key of Haggith on this door. So we enter this room and we can use the elevator. Finally. So we're on the first floor. Let's head up to 2. Sorry, I'm readjusting. Okay. So, alright. Or 2. In here, I suppose. 2 nurses down there. Let's check these, this door. Alright. 2 dead nurses. What's better than killing women? Right, Elliot? Alright, let's head through here. And this is an otherworld version of the jewelry shop that we visited earlier in the mall. Kazanian Jewelry. But this time, there's actually 2 items here. The Crest of Mercury, which is... Mercury, of course, is the messenger god in ancient Rome. And his staff is actually called the Caduceus, I believe. Yeah, Caduceus, yeah. I had to check my notes, but yeah. And also, you'll notice it's not even that staff, because it's been mixed with the symbol of medicine that the ancient Romans used, which is called the Rod of Asclepius. So, let's pick it up. Kinda odd that they combined it, but, you know, whatever they want to do. And let's check this door. Can't go through. But we can get this ring here. The Ring of Contract. That will come in very handy. Soon enough. So, let's leave the jewelry shop. Look around here. Let's check, this door. Nope. Let's check this door. Nope. And this one? Ooh, open. Put it on quick. Okay. Now let's try this door. This one? Nothing. There's a few more nurses down there. So this is, as you can see, a shortcut to the original hallway. I don't want to get killed by those nurses, otherwise I'd show you more, but that will come in handy later, because at some point we're going to have to shut off the elevator. And once we can't use the elevator, we need the shortcut. So you get this handgun ammo. And on this table there's a nice camera, and if we look at it in the inventory it says camera with flash, and that's going to come in really handy really soon. So let's check the rest of these doors, huh? I bet I could dodge these nurses. And this is, if you remember, we actually came here in the original hospital, and this steel plate here was screwed to the wall then, but we couldn't do anything about it. Thankfully, we checked the gurney that had tools all over it, and found a screwdriver. So, we can look here, and see, uh-oh, it's a key, but there's electricity flying through it. I'll get shocked if I grab it now. So like I said, we're going to have to turn off the elevator, because we'll have to turn off a generator at some point. Jeez. Nice jump, Harry. I'm gonna kill this lady. Uh-oh. I'm very sorry about the audio, though. I can't do anything about it right now. I'm gonna see if I can run by this lady. Nice. So let me check this. Nothing. Nothing. Okay. I think it went away, thank God. So we did get the camera, which means we can head upstairs, or up elevator. And I believe the elevator's this way. Yep, it's in here, if I remember. Yep. And we're gonna head up to the floor we haven't been to, which is the 3rd floor. And I'm making really good time on this. I was at like 40 minutes last time. This is at like 25. That's pretty good. So this puzzle is really cool. This is called the light puzzle. And, well, first of all, we'll look at these doors. There are 3 pads. And we can kind of click on the pads, but as soon as we leave, it resets. And the doors are locked because of these pads. And each door has one. And there's an altar in the center. Wonder what they worship. We'll find out soon, Harry. And there's a picture on each side. Light from the future. And the light illuminating the darkness. Now, this is pretty cool because in Silent Hill 3, actually, you see both of these paintings combined together inside of the Brookhaven Hospital. I'll show you the picture here, which is really cool. And also you can unlock an outfit called the Light from the Future, or Light to the Future outfit. It's an alternate outfit, and it has one painting on the front, one on the back, which is really cool. I really like all the alternate outfits in Silent Hill 3. And the default one. Oh, excuse me. So, excuse me, I'm dying. Anyways, everyone gets stuck here and they wonder, well, what am I supposed to put on the picture? What am I supposed to do? Well, the light gives you some hints. The fact that it's all about light, you need to use the light from the camera flash to expose these little symbols. And we can do the other picture as well. Cool. And then we're gonna have to go ahead and draw those little symbols on these little pads, which you're gonna do by drawing, because it's a big arch on top, and then I think this is a cross. And what was this one? I think it was the triangle of... Yeah, that's it. Cool. My memory's working great. So we can walk in here, grab the health drink. It's just a little room, there's not much to say about it. But if you go over here and look at this little book, there's a place mark in the book. White Claudia, perennial herb found near water, reaches height of 10 to 15 inches. Oblong leaves, white blossoms. Seeds contain hallucinogen. Ancient records show it was used for religious ceremonies. The hallucinogenic effect was key. Now, White Claudia is the base drug that's used to make PTV, or base plant that's used to make PTV, and also is hinted in the in the Silent Hill Play novel. It's hinted that it's also used to make aglafotis, the little red liquid and vial that we found. That's the anti-evil stuff. Also, worth noting that in Silent Hill Homecoming, actually, you get washed up on the shore of Toluca Lake at one point. And one detail that they did include, in that god-awful game, was to model little plants. I'll show you a picture here that look just like what the description, oblong, 10 to 15 inches, white. Really cool that they went to the effort to do that. So that's likely White Claudia. Also worth noting that it's based on a real-life plant called Morning Glory, which grows in North America, and it's used by, or it was used by Native Americans for, spirit journeys and, religious ceremonies because the hallucinogenic effect. Sorry. We've been up all night, like I said, but the hallucinogenic effect would, make them believe they're having a really hardcore religious experience, and really they're just hallucinating. But, so, let's look at the symbols over here. So it's a backwards L, a top triangle, and a little arrow to the bottom left. Backwards L, top triangle, and a little arrow to the left. Top triangle, which would be these. And like this. Awesome. So now I can head in here. And what's in here? Well, there's a key. Cool. I got the birdcage key. So, let's take the elevator back downstairs and go to the birdcage room, because there's a key in the birdcage. I'm sorry. Just like the last episode, really sleepy. So I bet we can get by these two nurses. Nice. So the birdcage key was in here. And I'll use it and grab the key of Phalag. So we're going to go directly to the right here as the key of Phalag opens this door. And this room is home to our first stalker. Now, like I said in the last part, it's hard to find these stalkers in the game, actually. It's easy to miss them. But, like I said, they're like larval stalkers, except they're not harmless. Again, they represent kind of Alessa's little child growing up and realizing, how wrong she's been and her getting aggressive. And so basically they're like larval stalkers, except their model is still invisible. Still invisible, but it has the Grey Child's attack animation and kind of model. Bethor carved on the door, so we'll have to get a key to go through there. But this is a little kitchen room, and you can see here there's a chain, it's missing a link. And the thing holding it together was this dagger of Melchior, and when we take it out, if I were to walk away, we would see the second appearance of the Bloodsucker, who would kill me immediately. So we're going to be smart, and we're going to use the Ring of Contract to actually link the chains together. So that when we walk away, the bloodsucker will try to get out, but it won't kill us. Cool stuff. So using an item to kill a large tentacle one-hit creature is seen again in Silent Hill 3. Yeah, when you use the hairdryer in the sewers, but I won't spoil it too much. Now I want to talk about this dagger of Melchior. Melchior, of course, is the oldest of the wise men that were looking for Jesus in the Bible, and that's where it gets its name. Sorry for all the yawning. But anyways, yeah, that's where it gets its name. And this dagger is really interesting because you actually see it again in Silent Hill 3. There's a character named Claudia, and at one point in the game she actually wields this dagger, or at least one that looks exactly like it. And she's involved with the cult, so it makes sense that she would have it. But yeah, let me make sure I'm not missing anything. Nope. We are right on schedule. I haven't missed a thing. Perfect. So we're getting awfully close to some of the mysteries of this game. Figuring out what happened, why it happened. What an odd camera angle to start off with. Health drink. And there's a little bag of jelly beans here. 39 flavored jelly beans. Let's open it up. Uh-oh. I dropped a key on the ground. The key of Bethor. So I guess key of Bethor is one of the flavors of the jelly beans. We can go in here. And this room is cool because it's just the AV room again from the hospital. Except this time the VCR is not broken again, so we can actually play the tape undisturbed and without too much distortion. So let's go ahead and do that, because we still have the tape.
What is it? Still has an unusually high fever. Eyes don't open. Getting a pulse, but just barely breathing. Her skin is all charred. Even when I change the bandages, the blood and pus just start oozing through. Why? What is keeping that child alive? I can't stand it any longer. I won't tell a soul. Promise. So please.
So now with the video undistorted, we can tell that it's Lisa begging Kaufman to let her go. But we know how that turns out. He didn't. Because Kaufman's a scumbag. Excuse me. So it was after a big fire that happened that she actually ended up in that hospital basement, constantly using blood and pus, and only kept alive by her psychic powers and the town's magic. But oof, I'm still kind of sick. I still have a sore throat. Ooh, handgun bullets. Oh, I wanted to note that my notes aren't actually, like, it's not like a script I go by. So yeah, I was thinking about it earlier and I thought, like, well, a Let's Play kind of loses a lot of its charm and fun if it's just reading off a script, right? And I just wanted to say it's just mostly bullet points. Pretty detailed, so I don't want to miss anything, but I never read directly off the page. I just glance at it and then move on. Yeah. And I uh-oh, a room full of graffiti. But yeah, I glance at it and I kind of filibuster from there. I got good at filibustering with very little to go on because I actually did debate for a long time. And I was pretty good, not to be immodest, but that's probably the one thing I was consistently good at was, the Ankh. Of course, named after the Egyptian hieroglyph, which is where it gets the form from, too. I hear it symbolizes eternal life, if I remember right. We can see the graffiti all over the wall. It says, kill and help and all sorts of terrible things. That looks like a big demon drawing, kind of eyes everywhere. Just bad stuff. Poor Alessa. Sorry about that. And we're gonna come back here. But first, this is the word Eritron is carved on the door, so we need a key of Eritron. So let's first go in this room with the key of Bethor and the generator. Perfect. So let's turn it off. Unfortunately, it will turn the elevator off, but thankfully, we can still use the shortcut from the Phalag room. Or this shortcut, I mean. And that'll come in really handy. Uh-oh. It got me. I just got a comment earlier today. A guy asked me, he said, "Why is it such a big deal for you to heal? Are you autistic?" Are you legit autistic? It made me laugh. I see these games, the survival horror games, as like a horde for the last boss. Like hoard all your items, so maybe I'm autistic, but that's how I like to play them. That's why I always try to run around things instead of fighting them, usually, if I can. So, I turned off the electricity, which means we can get this key of Eritron. Awesome. Now let's run back here. And go this way. We came from here. Oh. That was just proven wrong immediately. We came from here. And the door of Eritron will be right down here. Perfect. We can enter now.
Everything is going according to plan, sheltered in the womb.
But it's not done yet. Half the soul is lost. That is why the seed lies dormant.
And what soul remains captured in that husk is buried deep down in the subconscious.
Are you trying to say it won't work? That wasn't our agreement.
No, these are just stalling tactics. If we lend a hand, we will be able to get power. Never fear, the promise shall not be broken.
But the power we could draw now will be very weak. Almost nothing. Unless we get the other half of the soul.
We'll use a magical spell. Feeling this child's pain, it's sure to come.
But that will take time.
So this is Alessa's hospital room, and of course that was some introduction of what's going on exactly with Alessa and what they're trying to do with her. Something about needing a strong soul, or two souls. So of course we can look here and see the Disc of Ouroboros, which if you look closely is, we'll look in the inventory. It says, of a snake biting its own tail. Now, a snake biting its own tail is Ouroboros is a very common theme in the occult, which is basically, it symbolizes death and rebirth, or revival. And that's a really common theme in Silent Hill 3 and Silent Hill 2, or Silent Hill 2. I guess in one of the endings, the rebirth ending, but in Silent Hill 1 as well, which is that even like the industrial fans you see in the other world, all the circling and all that, or the valve that Valtiel turns in Silent Hill 3, all represents the cult's goal, which is they believe in rebirthing or birthing their god, because it died in the past and they have to revive it. And that's basically their end goal. So just cool little symbolism. Of course, a picture of Alessa. And now that we have that, we can head back into Alessa's room. And this is Alessa's room. You can come back to this exact same room in Silent Hill 3. It looks exactly the same. Now this is actually pretty cool. All these insects and butterflies. Of course, her interest and fear of insects is shown. And in Silent Hill 2, in the butterfly nest, you can actually see a very similar display case, kind of an homage back to this, of, moths and butterflies. And I'm just going to walk over here. The child's drawings are scattered on the floor. So you can kind of see over here there's like a drawing of a demon, which will be the final boss, spoiler. And then this big kind of beast monster, which corresponds with one of the monsters in the game, I believe. Let me think back. Maybe it doesn't. Excuse me, maybe it is just a random drawing. But this one, of course, this is a romper, this monster that's shown here. Or maybe a mumbler, because no, it's a romper because it has eyes and everything. So, of course, you can kind of see this is where a lot of the monsters are originating from, as Alessa's drawings and fears and thoughts and imagination. And if you look at this shelf, old fairy tales, picture books of animals and plants. So that's where all the enemies are originating from. This is her dress here on the wall. A girl's clothing hangs on the wall. 6, maybe 7. Must be a kid about that age. And there's a bed here. Can't look at it really. But let's save the game. Actually, let's not save the game yet. So this door, we can look at it. Thou possess them to guard thy spirit, evoke 5 rites, unveil thy fate. So we need 5 things, and you can kind of see all the indents there are items that we have. Thank goodness. So let's use the Ouroboros and the Dagger of Melchior and the Ankh, Crest of Mercury, and of course the Amulet of Solomon, the Star of David. And that will, as you can hear, unlock the door. So let's save the game. You can hear the music ramping up because it's about to get crazy. Now I'm going to be quiet for a little while because there's going to be some long cutscenes.
Come along. No. No. I don't want to. Do what Mommy tells you now. I just want you to lend me a teeny bit of your power. That's all. No. I don't want to do it. It will make everyone happy, and it's for your own good, too. Oh, but Mommy, I just want to be with you. Just 2 of us. Please understand. Oh, yes, I see. Maybe Mommy has been wrong. Mommy! Why didn't I see this before? There's no reason to wait. Herein lies the mother's womb, containing the power to create life. I could have done it all myself. Mommy?
Dahlia.
Well, well, well. To think you'd make it this far.
Where's Cheryl? What have you done to her?
What are you talking about? You've seen her many times, restored to her former self.
I'm in no mood for jokes.
Don't you see? She's right there.
That's absurd.
You are the only one who thinks so.
Why? Why are you doing this?
It's been a long 7 years. For the 7 years since that terrible day, Alessa has been kept alive, suffering a fate worse than death. Alessa has been trapped in an endless nightmare from which she never awakens. He has been nurtured by that nightmare, waiting for the day to be born. That day has finally come. The time is nigh. Everyone will be released from pain and suffering. Our salvation is at hand. This is the day of reckoning, when all our sorrows will be washed away. When we return to the true paradise, my daughter will be the Mother of God.
Quit screwing around. Return things to how they were before.
Kaufman!
Did I ask for this? Nobody uses me. You won't get away with this.
Your role is over. We don't need you anymore. What do you think you can accomplish by coming here?
My, aren't we getting cocky? Bet you can't see this and keep your cool.
A glove it is! I thought I got rid of that!
All I had to do was plant it somewhere for you to find. You all put out. Kept you busy. Ah, you're easy. And there's more where this came from.
Stop it!
Huh? What the?
That's not supposed to.
So I actually died on this fight the first time I recorded this, which is pretty funny. But I love that whole cutscene right there. I'll explain everything after the boss fight and after the final cutscene. So it'll probably be like 5 or 10 minutes of me explaining a ton of things. So sorry about that if that bothers you. But anyways, this is the final boss. His name is Incubus. You can fight Incubator if you get the bad endings. But anyways, I came up with some pro strats on how to dodge his lightning. It does immense damage, but we're gonna do our best to dodge it here. So We're gonna pull out our rifle, reload, and let's just shoot them a bunch right off the bat. And there are no audio glitches. They might sound like there are. Oh, he got me. That's okay. It might sound like there are audio glitches, but I'll explain it later. But no, it's not an emulation error. It's the game's soundtrack. Not sure if I can shoot him from behind here, so we'll just run back here. Alright, before he shoots his lightning, we're gonna reload. And what you gotta do... Oh, he got me this time too. I gotta get good. Thankfully I stocked up so much. But it only works like every 1 and 2 times. So let's reload again and then try it again. I think we can get it this time. Nah, I was reloading. I think we dodged one part of it. Yeah, we did. Nice. Strategy didn't work. Strategy's not working at all. See, I tried to weave in and out, but it seems to not be working this time. I'm probably not doing it right. Alright, let's reload really quickly. And then let's try it this time. Yep. Oh. I thought we had it that time. I haven't even gotten it once this time, man. I'm doing poorly. Well, I guess I dodged 2 bolts, but... So... Now let's see if we can get it this time, because I have plenty of time before he starts to attack. Yeah, you see that? Those are the sick maneuvers I was talking about. No, let's just play it safe. And reload. And, yep, there he goes. So... Sick moves. I got it down now. Whoa, wrong way. Wow, we did really well.
Daddy.
So that is Silent Hill 1. It's a good game, don't you think? No. I think... I'm leaving the credits. I would skip them, but I think something might happen. I'm not sure. Like a little extra or something. I'm not sure. But anyways, let me just start going off for a while on all the lore and everything. Now, first off, I just want to say I could have gone for the good plus ending. I got the good ending. So besides the joke UFO ending, there are 4 endings, which is bad, bad plus, good, good plus. And I got the good ending, not the good plus. And it would have been easier to get the good plus ending because you just use the Anglophotis on Sybil, and you can save her actually, and then you escape with Sybil, with the baby that the incubator handed us. But we'll talk about that in a second. But yeah, basically, I decided not to do that and just go for the good ending because this is the canon ending of the game. This is the ending that continues and follows into Silent Hill 3. So sadly for Sybil, the canon ending is that she didn't make it to Silent Hill 3. Now, let me just describe some of the other endings. If you get one of the 2 bad endings, you actually end up fighting a different monster, which I'll show here, called the Incubator, which is actually just that angel who showed up at the beginning and handed us the baby at the end. And it's actually just a grown-up Alessa, funny enough. The difference is that when you do the side quest for Kaufman, and he will use the Anglophotis to separate the evil demon from Alessa's soul, right, which is the incubus, which we just fought, the giant obvious demon. It's the evil god of the town that they've been trying to summon. So basically the Anglophotis separates that evil, just like it would have separated the puppet, or the parasite, the evil parasite from Sybil, if I had used it on her to save her. But instead I killed her. Oh, here we go. So these are just more kind of credits and stuff. These are just kind of joke FMVs going on. This is actually from the original intro cutscene, but these are just joke, FMVs that Sato did for fun. But yeah. Anyways, what was I saying? Oh yeah, the Anglophotis separates the demon from Alessa's soul, which is why the incubus at the end there is actually good. Whereas, who is this? Oh, that must be Jody. Well, that's Alessa? I've never seen that image or picture of her like that, all grown up, but not the incubator. That's pretty neat. Oh, sorry, I'm watching the credits, but yeah. Oh, I want to see this. This is awesome. The best thing about these is it's not even mocapped. 2 and 3 and 4 were, but Sato did not only all the facial animations, but all of the body animations too. I mean, especially that Lisa Garland cutscene, where she's got blood leaking out of her head and everything. Just crazy that you could do that. So let's look at our stats before I continue on with lore. So we got 4 stars out of 10. 4 hours, 44 minutes. 33 saves, 3 continues. 167 items. Not bad, not bad. I'll take it. Is it okay to save? Yes. So let's do this. So yeah, anyways, I'll talk about the game now. I was distracted by the fun credits. But anyways, so yeah, the Aglafotis separates the evil demon god from Alessa's soul, basically, meaning that you kind of save her. I mean, you kind of save her in the bad endings as well, but it's only in the good endings that he separates in the demon and you actually fight the incubus as opposed to Alessa herself. What was that? Anyways, but yeah, you actually end up fighting Alessa in the bad endings because basically you didn't. If you don't do the side quest, you don't have Kaufman to help you at all, so he doesn't separate them. So Alessa actually the incubator. If you fight it, it's the big angel thing. If you fight that, pretty much the same attacks, just lightning, but I think it's white instead of red. But basically, even when you kill it in the bad endings, Alessa will still thank you, for killing her, for putting her out of her misery finally, after all this time. And you can, if you get the bad plus ending, you fight the incubator and she thanks you, of course. And then Sybil is still alive in the bad plus ending because you saved her, but you just didn't do the side quest for Kaufman, which means that Harry drops to his knees and kind of grieves about losing Cheryl, and Sybil slaps him out of it and pulls him out of there, and they move out of Silent Hill together, but unfortunately no baby. Cheryl's lost. And then there's the bad ending, which is really bad, which is Sybil's dead, you didn't do the side quest, which means you just fight Incubator. She thanks you for killing her, but then you wake up in the car. I'll show you the picture here. Harry wakes up in the car. You find out the whole game was a dream, just a dying dream, as you bleed out from the car crash at the beginning of the game, which is pretty cruel, pretty brutal. But yeah, the good plus ending, what happens is Sybil's still alive, and we leave together and take care of the baby, presumably that I was given, or that we were giving by the incubator, which is kind of assumed to be the remnants of the good of Alessa's heart and of Cheryl's soul and everything, which will actually leads into Silent Hill 3. But anyways, before I go into detail on the incubator and the boss we just fought called the Incubus, I want to explain some bosses that I didn't earlier, the Twin Feeler and the Float Stinger, which, if you didn't pick up on it, what happens was Alessa was actually so weakened by this big fire that happened in her house during a ritual, with her trapped in the basement getting bandages over and over. She was so weakened from that she, basically, her soul was so eroded that they needed another one to further, birth God, or their demon, the Incubus, basically. It's the cult's god, and actually I'll explain what it wants to do in a second, but the Twin Feeler is the big worm, of course, the big larva, the moth larva, and it represents arrested development, because when Alessa got so hurt, they couldn't continue, incubating and growing the baby inside, the baby of God inside of her, because she was, needed another soul. So when Cheryl came to Silent Hill, of course, this Float Stinger is the final evolution, because it's showing, the souls rejoined, they connected, and they were able to continue with God's development, which is, just the rough symbolism behind them. Beyond that, it's just kind of like, Alessa likes moths, and that's why it's a big moth that you fight, and a moth larva. But yeah, I promised I would get back to it, and I did. So, the incubator, let's talk about that, which is the angel. And as I said before, she's a grown-up version of Alessa, basically, and her angelic appearance comes from Alessa's, idea of what a savior, or a messiah, or a god would be, and basically she is kind of that, since it's growing inside of her. She's like the mother of God, in a weird, messed up kind of way. But yeah, that's where that appearance comes from. Is her, her preconceptions of what that would look like. And the name itself is actually representative of how her body was used as an incubator for this demon baby, which is really messed up. And the boss that we fought is the town's god, the cult's god, which is the Incubus. And although it was really weakened and mortal, it could be killed by a mortal because of the amphiphotis that Kaufman used. Thank goodness for him. And basically it separated the evil sirens going on. Sorry about that. But yeah, it represented the evil of the town and the evil of the cult, and its appearance is derived entirely from, again, the preconceptions of what Alessa would think of, a god of the cult that had mistreated her so badly and had abused her and burned her and, taken everyone she loved, basically, and left her alone, isolated, tortured, awful. And so basically she thought, like, well, what would her preconceived notions of what that kind of god might look like? And of course, it's just the devil, a demon. And actually in Silent Hill Origins there's a note that confirms this demon is actually Samael, which is a pretty famous demon. And that's the god that they worship secretly. I mean, they just call it God, but it's actually Samael in biblical lore. And this is further confirmed by this picture, which you find in Silent Hill Downpour, which is just, the Incubus boss design, except for it's called the demon Samael, which I think is really cool. Now, the actual physical design, of course, comes from this very famous drawing of the demon Baphomet. This drawing really gives me the chills. It really creeps me out every time I see it. There's something so purely evil about it, and I guess that's why it's survived for hundreds of years. Why it's so popular still. But yeah, that's where Masahiro Ito got most of the main inspiration, of course. And if you look closely, there are actually characters on his wings. I'll show you a good picture here. And someone asked Ito what they were, and they found out they're Greek symbols. And he said, I can't remember what they symbolize for the life of me. And people can't figure out what they translate to. So it's probably just random Greek symbols for, atmosphere, and just to make it look more demonic and cooler. But maybe it meant something. Maybe it means something. Maybe someday people will discover. But not today. But yeah. Let me check. Oh yeah, the Incubus, just worth noting, it actually does have breasts. Despite looking pretty male, it is female because their god is female. This is established in Silent Hill 3, but we'll see that when we get to the chapel in Silent Hill 3. But yeah, there's actually I forgot to mention the track. When I said that it might sound like there's audio distortion or emulation bugs, it's actually just the track during the boss fight is called My Heaven, and most of it is comprised and based mainly off just a dentist drill that's been played over itself numerous times, and that has been heavily distorted by Akira Yamaoka, which is pretty neat. It's very unnerving. Now, one more note. In the European and Japanese versions, there's one extra memo called the Fire article, and the article says, I'll read it, Fire broke I'm sorry. Yeah, I was having a hard time reading that. Fire broke out in town. 6 homes destroyed. Charred body of Alessa Gillespie, not Gillespie, 7, found in aftermath. Cause of fire currently under investigation. Investigations show source as basement of Gillespie home. Blaze now believed to be, malfunction of antiquated boiler. So basically, what was actually happening, according to the Book of Lost Memories, is they were doing a cult ritual with Alessa involving a ton of candles and fire, and they accidentally set the house on fire, and they all bailed, of course, and just left Alessa to burn alive, which is the severe burns that we've talked about numerous times, that she severed and ended up in the hospital. But yeah, many people think that boiler that they're talking about is actually her psychic powers, going nuts from all the fire and everything, or from all the ritual torture, and actually blowing up the boiler and causing the fire herself. But it's confirmed in the Book of Lost Memories that what actually happened was it was just some fire from the candles that started and burned the house down, and that the cult actually rigged the newspaper and said, oh, it was an accident, it was a boiler accident, so that nobody would get suspicious. Yeah, that's about it. That's about it for Silent Hill 1. I didn't know it as much as 1, or actually I didn't know 1 nearly as much as 2, 3, or 4. Now I certainly do, from all this research, as you can see here.
Three cool cats. Three cool cats. Parked on a corner in a beat-up car, dividing up a nickel candy bar, talking all about how sharp they are, these three cool cats. Three cool chicks. Three cool chicks. Walking down the street, swinging their hips, splitting up a bag of potato chips, and three cool cats did 3 big flips for 3 cool chicks.
I hope the work shows, and the next project will be Silent Hill 3. Thank you very much for watching, and I hope you have a great day.